retirement home is invested in its residents. Our staff works hard to develop long-term relationships so that we can build a custom program that works best for you. Meeting your needs, especially in our memory care facility, is our first priority. Call today for more information.
Great Plains State Bank is about great personal service. Like most banks, Great Plains State Bank offers ag loan options that fit your needs. Visit with a team you know and trust that will help you grow your yield. We are local people making local decisions that impact your success. Stop in today and let's talk. Great Plains State Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Stop in Blush Boutique and Tan at 226 East Douglas Street or shop online for the latest fashion trends and accessories in every size and price range. Don't forget about our VIP high-pressure tanning beds. We strive to offer top customer service, high-quality products, top-of-the-line tanning, and exceptional experience. Society 36 is an event space in the back of Blush to hold gatherings, baby or bridal showers, and wedding rehearsal dinners. It has plenty of room with everything you need.
At Connaught Tire Service, we are your local experts in O'Neill on everything from tires and brakes to tune-ups, electrical diagnostics, and most other repairs. We offer the best prices on high-quality parts, and we pride ourselves on excellent customer service. We offer a variety of top brands to suit every customer's needs and budget. The next time an automotive issue comes up, bring it to the experts at Connaught Tire Service.
O'Neill Public Schools is home to great opportunities for your kids. As an Apple Distinguished School, O'Neill Junior Senior High School stays on the cutting edge of technology so your kids learn more in and out of the classroom. With our organization, Eagle Eye Broadcasting, students get real-world experience in the field of broadcasting with industry-standard equipment. This experience is seen through their live daily announcement shows and the annual Homecoming Lift Up. And with plans to continue to add to and update our facilities, there's no better time to be an Eagle. O'Neill Public Schools. Dream, achieve, believe.
O'Neill Superfoods, located at 304 East Highway 20 in O'Neill, Nebraska. We are your local community connection for high-quality foods, friendly service, and great prices. And we now offer curbside pickup. It is a super simple and safe way to do shopping. Just follow these steps. First, go to superfoodsgrocery.net. Then select the correct superfood and you can start shopping. Our family-owned store offers a convenient one-stop shop where you can find everything you need from the everyday essentials to specialty items from around the world. We take pride in our community and appreciate your business, so shop at O'Neill Superfoods located at 304 East Highway 20 in O'Neill, Nebraska.
Nebraska, where hardworking hands build incredible things.
Built this thing from the ground up out of nothing. Gave it everything. Now look at what it's given back.
We know you put your heart into your business because that's what Nebraskans do. As a local bank, we put our hearts into helping you because we're not just a bank in Nebraska. We're Nebraska in a bank. Pinnacle Bank, the way banking should be.
Who do you trust to take care of you during an emergency? With over 40 years of experience, Riser Insurance helps their clients professionally and efficiently. They specialize in home, auto, business, and life and health insurance, as well as farm and crop coverage and retirement services. Riser Insurance provides experience and excellence when you need it most. Stop in at 217 South 4th Street in O'Neill or call 402-336-1983 for all your insurance and retirement needs.
Need electrical work done? Look no further than Shad's Electric, your go-to for all your residential, commercial, and agricultural wiring needs. Family owned and based in O'Neill, Shad's Electric is ready to serve you. Call 402-340-1242 today. That's 402-340-1242. Shad's Electric, lighting up your life.
Come down to your local Stadium Sports in O'Neill, Nebraska, where you can satisfy all your sporting and clothing needs in just one store. They have a wide variety of many different sporting items and clothing that we know you would love. If you're not sure you like your clothing, they will even let you try it on in this fancy dressing room. They also have a website. You can visit them at stadiumsportso'neill.com. If you want to give them a ring, their phone number is 402-336-2282.
Looking for fresh meats, produce, and all your favorite products? Look no further than Torpin's Rodeo Market, your only home-owned grocery store. We pride ourselves on offering top-quality meats, USDA choice beef, tender pork, and chicken, all with friendly service that makes you feel right at home. And don't forget, get your bankroll ticket punched each week at Torpin's Rodeo Market in O'Neill, your local store, always well-stocked and ready for you. Torpin's Rodeo Market.
By broadcasting, I'm Gary Hostert, going to be joined by Steve Brown. Glad to have you aboard for this softball game. And Steve, should be a really interesting contest as we continue on the Dr. Pepper pregame. A couple of weeks ago they played and O'Neill got a 5-2 win.
Well, these guys know each other well. They play 2 to 3 times every fall. They play several times in the summer. They meet different tournaments. So I don't think there'll be any surprises for either squad. We talked a little earlier before we got on air about how probably whoever's pitcher is on probably has the best chance tonight.
And we have 2 veteran pitchers in Riley Selby for O'Neill and Kylie Dvorak for Pierce. And to your point, these teams met 3 times last year. O'Neill won 1 and Pierce won 2, including a game in the Mid-State Conference Tournament. I was talking with Pierce coach Grant King just a little while ago, talking about the fact that just a little bit more than a month from today, well actually a month from today is, I believe, the Mid-State Conference Tournament. And on October 7th, just a little bit more than a month away, that's the day that these teams start sub-district play. So this softball season already about a third over, and that's difficult to believe.
Once it's rolling, it goes by fast. You don't hardly have time to come up for air. When you get a chance to, you hardly get a chance to practice, and if you do, you got to kind of keep it short because you want to keep them fresh because this game's come hot and heavy.
We talked about the pitchers, Riley Selby for O'Neill and Kylie Dvorak for Pierce. We can tell you that Kylie Dvorak, she logs most of the innings for her team. She's 3-5 on the season, and incidentally, that is the team's record as well. She's thrown 37 innings and has an ERA of 4.92. For Riley Selby, an ERA of 5.80. She's 4-6, and that's also O'Neill's record. She's thrown 41 innings, allowed 33 hits, and mentioned the earned run average of 5.80. She's allowed 34 runs. The big thing probably that the Eagles would like to see drop a little bit is her walks. Very impressive strikeout total. She has 72, but it has 40 walks.
Yep, I think she even leads the state in strikeouts, if I'm not mistaken. Coach Price told me that. But walks, I don't care what level of softball or baseball you're in, walks just hurt you. You can have a one-hit inning, but if you give up 3 walks, they might score 3 runs on that 1 hit. So it's vital for every team, but for Riley Selby to throw strikes tonight, I think.
Yes, it doesn't seem to matter what level or whether it's baseball or softball, those walks tend to find their way around to the plate, it seems like more often than not. We continue on the Dr. Pepper pregame. We'll go ahead and let you know once again that Pierce is 3-5 on the season. O'Neill is 4-6. Pierce working under the direction of first-year head coach Grant King, assisted by Jill Orwig. And by the way, Jill Orwig, a college softball teammate of O'Neill assistant coach Aaron Boyle, who played collegiately at Mount Marty in Yankton.
Yep.
Yes. And O'Neill, of course, coached by longtime head coach Chuck Price. The other assistant for the Eagles is Alex Miller. We're at Field 2 here, the home field of the O'Neill Eagles in Kearney Park, in the way southern part of O'Neill. You may, I don't know if our camera catches it or not, but beyond the right field fence across the road there, you'll see Gil Posey Pond on what should be a really nice night for softball and a busy day for sports here on KBX. We'll tell you about that more as we go along. We're going to go ahead and take a break, then we'll come back with our Frickel Well Service of Atkinson starting lineups after you listen to these messages.
At the Evergreen Assisted Living Center, you can be sure your loved one is living to their greatest potential with access to in-house physical therapy, a dining room to socialize with friends and family, a game room with activities to please all ages, a movie theater to watch your favorite movies, a big room for hosting or just to admire the breathtaking mural. They offer personalized apartments with outside access to help you feel more at home. The Evergreen Assisted Living Center has it all.
Many lenders work in agriculture, but only one works for it. Mission-driven and owned by the producers we serve.
Welcome back to Kearney Park at O'Neill, getting ready for the PA to do the announcements here at the field, and time for our Frickel Well Service starting lineups. We'll start with visiting Pierce. The leadoff hitter is a center fielder, Evelyn Scudler. Batting second, the catcher, Alexis Sporletter. The three hitters, Aubrey Hanson, the shortstop. Batting fourth, Jessica Kraft, the right fielder. The third baseman, Kaylin Halsey, hits fifth. Batting sixth, the pitcher, Kylie DeVork. The seven hitters, the left fielder, Kaylin Gardner. Batting eighth and playing second base, Peyton Brunkhorst. And the nine hitter is the first baseman, Shaylee Gardner. And once again, Pierce coached by head coach Grant King, assisted by Jill Orwig. Now for the O'Neill Eagles, your Frickel Well Service of Atkinson starting lineup. The Eagles' leadoff hitter is Loretta Schofield. She's a center fielder. Batting second, the pitcher Riley Selby. Three hitter is the shortstop Brooklyn Cahoy. Batting fourth and playing third base, Grace Druke. The five hitter, the first baseman Danny Rouse. Batting sixth, the catcher Harley Kinnison. Emerson Merrick, the right fielder, hits in the 7 spot. Designated player Tinsley Sorensen is the 8 spot. Bristol Scott, the left fielder, bats 9th, and the defensive player tonight that's not batting for O'Neill is the second baseman, Darcy Gabutsky. Aubrey Blackburn's played there a lot this year, but I don't believe she is in uniform tonight.
I saw her just with her jersey on and a pair of jeans.
And so once again, your starting lineup is brought to you by Frickel Well Service of Atkinson. Let's go ahead and transition into our M&M Lockers of Bristow forecast on what should be a really nice night for softball. The high today in O'Neill was 79, currently 74, the low 58. Mostly clear tonight with a low around 52 and a north wind 5 to 10 miles an hour. Once again, your forecast brought to you by M&M Lockers of Bristow. This field here at Kearney Park, a 200-foot fence all the way around, and in high school softball, a 40-foot pitching level and 60-foot bases. That's going to do it for the pregame. We're going to get our national anthem here at the park. Back with softball after you listen to these messages.
When marketing your greatest assets, you may only do it once in a lifetime. Land Marketers Realty wants to be by your side from start to finish when you pursue this endeavor. With many years of high-level experience representing clients from 40 acres to over 10,000 acres, we specialize in assisting in the completion of complex transactions that include estate settlements, seller financing, first-time landowners, and 1031 exchanges. When the time comes to consider marketing or stewardship options for your farm or ranch, give us a call today to discuss your goals.
My family has been in this business for a long time, and we've always put the community first.
Our goal when we wake up every morning is how can our communities get to the next level?
Here at the bank, we're very community involved. We definitely like to serve on our committees. Working somewhere that allows me to continue to do that is awesome.
My parents work together in this bank. My grandparents work together in this bank.
Being locally owned, being family owned, it is fun to share that spirit.
The reason I like working for Tri-County Bank is the one-on-one contact with our customers.
People know that they can call any of us here if they really need something on my cell phone at 8 o'clock at night. It doesn't matter. That relationship is huge, especially in this day and age. It's just important for me that I could be a part of my family's legacy and keep this bank going, hopefully on to the 5th, 6th, 7th generation.
Anthem has been completed, just about ready to go here for softball. And again, glad to have you on 99.9 FM, KBRX O'Neill, 1350 AM The Rock in O'Neill, on the internet at KBRX.com, and also streaming on Eagle Eye Broadcasting, the O'Neill High School streaming service. Usually we have a Eagle Eye Broadcasting student along with the broadcast, but a really busy day all around the area, and that doesn't really narrow it down anymore. This is a busy time of year. It seems like once the school year starts, it goes that way. But the O'Neill Junior High football team, 7th and 8th graders both in action. The volleyball team on the road to Boone Central. Football team finishing up practice, as is a cross-country team and the golfers. And there's football here tonight in O'Neill with the St. Mary's Cardinals playing host to the Burwell Longhorns. Also, don't forget, over on 102.9, starting at about 6:45 with the Dr. Pepper pregame, Tim Hansen, Tyler Holcomb, they are at Summerlin High School in what should be a good D1 contest as the Summerlin Bobcats play host to the Crofton Warriors. Throw goes through to second base, and we're just about ready to go. Once again, we'll remind our Eagle Eye viewers that we'll call this, since it's on radio, if we state the obvious, it's because we're doing this on radio as well. So here's Evelyn Scudler, the center fielder, right-handed batter for Pierce, standing in with Riley Selby, who threw a one-hitter a week ago in a win against Ponca right here at Kearney Park. First pitch down low for a ball. Gary Davis is the plate umpire, and Brandon Rystrom on the bases.
I hope Riley really maybe seems to like pitching at home, and she can find a groove early here.
Selby, second offering is a called strike one. 1-1, or did he signal high? I think it's called a strike.
I believe he called it a strike, yes.
So right at the top of the zone. As Turkey at third, Cahoy at short, Babutsky at second. This pitch swung on and missed for strike two. Babutsky at second, and Rouse at first in the outfield. In left field is Bristol Scott. In center field, Loretta Schofield and Emerson Malarick. And right in a battery made up of catcher Harley Kinnison and pitcher Riley Selby. This one's fouled back to the screen. So the count holds at 1-2 on Evelyn Scudler. Sporletter, then Hansen. If somebody reaches base, Jessica Kraft would bat for the 3-5 Pierce Blue Jays.
Now she's throwing two strikes in the upper part of the zone. She might go with a rise ball, but maybe a little bit farther up and get her to chase.
And this one is up and fouled back out of play. So the count holds again at 1-2. Selby on the years, giving up 33 hits. 45 runs, 34 of those have been earned. Opponent's hitting just 209 against her. This one's down low for a ball. So 2-2, the count evens up on Evelyn Scudler. A lot of these Pierce players, as same is true for O'Neill to a certain extent, but a lot of these Pierce players were on the Blue Jay squad a year ago as well in starting roles. This one swung on and missed. Selby ran it inside on her, and Scudler down swinging for out number one. So a good start for Selby and the Eagles.
You can see the thought process of the pitch calling. They got to strike up high. They went up high again to get a foul ball. And then to change her eye level, they went down low and then went in real tight to get the strikeout.
Here's Alexis Sporletter as Kinnison and Selby, the catcher and pitcher respectively, both glance over to the O'Neill dugout. This one is a bit high for ball one. 1-0 to Sporletter with Aubrey Hansen waiting on deck. Hansen with 3 home runs already on this young season.
Was it you or somebody was telling me that when they get a hold of it, the Pierce team have several girls that hit with power?
This one's bounced to short. Cahoy on a big hop, throw across to Rouse in time. 6-3 on the putout for out number 2. And here's Aubrey Hansen. And I'll probably catch myself calling her Madeline Hansen at some point. Her sister played last year for Pierce, and I believe she hit a home run against O'Neill last year in the conference tournament.
Let's hope history does not repeat itself if you're an Eagle fan.
Hansen stands in, right-handed batting shortstop, slightly open stance. The pitch. This one is up high for a ball, and you can bet that Selby is well aware of Hansen's power. Outfield straight away for the right-hander. This is just a 200-foot fence here at Kearney Park. This one's upstairs, good velocity, but high from Selby. So it's 2-0 on Aubrey Hansen with Jessica Kraft in the on-deck circle. Nobody aboard and 2 out, your top half of inning number 1. Selby. The pitch. This one's down low, so ball 3. So Hanson up in front, 3-0 in the count. Grant King, a Stanton, Nebraska native, is in the third base box, and Jill Orlick, I believe she's from Norfolk, over at first base. This one is swung on and missed. You can tell the respect that Pierce has for the power that Hanson has. 3-0 count. You figure maybe early she'd be taken. Really, they let her take a cut at that one with good reason. She has 3 home runs on the year. This one swung on line into left center. Solid base hit. Cut up by Schofield and will hold her to a single. So nice job there by Schofield in center field to get over. But Hanson continues to impress at the plate. She has the game's first hit.
Gary, I didn't think that was a horrible pitch by Riley. It was kind of in and maybe even got her on the fist a little bit, but she was just strong enough to get it over the shortstop's head.
Hanson coming in a .538 hitter on the season.
That's pretty solid.
Here's Jessa Kraft. This one is down low for ball 1. 1-0 to Jessa Kraft.
He was late calling the strike.
I thought it looked good. I didn't see the signal there from Gary Davis.
He's getting a little older. He can't stand up quite as fast as what he used to be able to.
I can relate. Yeah, I thought that looked good, but I hate to, I don't want to turn to the umpire. I've had a hard enough time announcing it. This one swung on, popped up, drifting foul, out of play, just out of play. So it is 0-2. By the way, Kraft is a .560 hitter on the season. She has a home run, 13 RBIs, and 14 hits on the season. So another dangerous hitter up there for Pierce with Hanson at first and 2 outs here, top half of inning number 1.
This might be a good pitch to wait, not necessarily race, but make sure it's not in the zone.
There goes the runner.
Let's see if you can get her to chase.
Took something off that one. It was down low for ball 1. So the stolen base by Hanson. She's in scoring position at second base. Selby. Pitch swung on, hit in the air to center. Schofield drifts back, has it measured. She's there, and she makes the catch for out number 3. So Pierce gone in the top of the first. No runs, a hit. There were no errors, and 1 runner left on base. After half inning of play, your Pinnacle Bank score, it's Pierce 0 and O'Neill coming to bat. Back after these messages.
Creative Advantages is a business consulting firm that maximizes a business's potential by targeting all areas of business while implementing key business and marketing strategies that will optimize sales production and long-term sales profitability. Creative Advantage's passion is working with other business owners and formulating a personalized business and marketing plan that will heighten the opportunity to achieve your business goals. Visit our website at www.creativeadvantages.org to learn more, or contact Abby or Alex at 402-340-9661 and get started.
Ranchland Auto Supply is your locally owned and operated CarQuest store in downtown O'Neill, Nebraska. They have a large selection of parts and accessories to keep your vehicle and equipment running. Ranchland Auto delivers around O'Neill's to many local communities every day and offers in-house hydraulic hose production. Our employees are always ready to serve the community with the combined experience of over 100 years in the automotive and heavy equipment industry. Stop by or call Ranchland Auto Supply today and let a friendly parts professional help you with all your automotive needs.
You're live. O'Neill comes to bat in the bottom half, inning number 1. Schofield, Selby, and Cahoy. If somebody reaches base, Grace Drucke would bat, and O'Neill working against veteran Pierce pitcher Kylie Dvorak. She is a junior, logged a lot of innings already last year for this Pierce team as she finishes her warm-up tosses. Schofield, the leadoff hitter, just a 167 average, but she does have some power. She did triple earlier this year. She had a home run last year over the fence, and I believe already has an inside the park home run this year as well. Very good on base percentage. So, and she hits from the left side and excellent speed. So,
yeah, she's one that even though she's not doesn't have a high average, the fact that she can get on base and the speed to steal puts a lot of pressure on the defense.
Would not be surprised to see her show bunt, and Pierce sensing that as Halsey, the third baseman, well in front of the bag. Dvorak ready to deal. The first offering is swung on, popped up on the right side. First baseman Gardner gave it a look, but it hit against the side of the dugout. And so it's 0-1 on Schofield. But that shows you what, Schofield, the threat of the bunt there, and then the O'Neill lets her swing away. She is known pretty much as a pull hitter, and you can bet the right fielder Kraft aware of that, as she's
hugging the line
a little bit toward the line over there in right field. You are correct. Dvorak, the pitch. This one is just outside for ball one. 1-1. It evens up on Loretta Schofield, a senior at St. Mary's. This is a co-op between O'Neill and O'Neill St. Mary's. The other St. Mary's player in the starting lineup is the right fielder, Emerson Wilnerick. Dvorak, the pitch. This one is through for a called strike 2. 1-2 to Loretta Schofield. Riley Selby, the pitcher, waiting in the on-deck circle. Good crowd on hand. Expected to be more, as once football practice gets out, oftentimes the Eagle football players form the student section behind the left field fence. The pitch. Swan's just high for ball 2. 2-2 to Loretta Schofield.
Looks like the approach to pitching to Loretta is to stay outside. Last 3 pitches have all either been outside or cut the outside corner.
Schofield with a 2-2 count. She'll have to protect. The pitch. Swan swung on and fouled back out of play on the left side. So it holds at 2-2. Pierce with Halsey at third, Hanson at short, Brunkhorst at second, and Gardner at first. Kaylin Gardner in left, with Scudler in center, Kraft in right, Sporletter the catcher, Dvorak the pitcher. Just a 10-player roster for this Pierce team. Dvorak checks the wristband and comes plateward. It's just off the outside corner, as Steve mentioned. They continue to work Schofield outside.
It was a good 2-2 pitch. It was close. They thought maybe they'd get her to chase. Loretta does a nice job holding off.
Dvorak looks in. The payoff pitch. This one swung on, bounced to third. Glove by Halsey across, long throw. It's going to not be there in time. Now, Schofield tried to turn it into an extra base. It's going to be out at second base on what will probably go as an infield hit. That was not hit all that hard, and Schofield has great speed. And it will go actually as a single and then a 3-4 putout for out number 1. So O'Neill trying to put the pressure on early. That ball kind of carried him back off the fence.
Yeah, a very good bounce for Pierce. Pierce, first baseman, only had to take about 3 steps, and she could pick it up and make the throw.
Yeah, good throw there by Shaylin Gardner. And I thought that was the second baseman actually come over to cover.
It was.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So I wrote it down as 3-4 on the putout. I'm sure that in defense of the shortstop, Hanson, you'd think maybe she would cover there, but I think she was moving toward third to back that play up as the ground ball. As here's Selby, this one's fouled out of play, and the count evens up 1-1 on Riley Selby. Selby on this season has walked 3 times in 13 plate appearances. I don't believe that she is, in some games I've actually used a hitter for her. So I'm not sure, I haven't seen all the Eagle games, but she doesn't have as many plate appearances as some of the Eagle regulars. This once again bounced to the left side. Hanson up with a long throw across. It's got to be a little bit high, and Selby's going to hold on at first base. Hanson there again, that's a long throw. It was high. I think if the throw had been on line,
it would have been close. Very, very close.
We'll probably call it again an infield hit because I'm not sure. That took Hanson to the hole, and she did a really good job of getting in front of that. For a lot of players, that'd be a backhand, and she was in front of it, and Selby very well might have been safe even if the throw arrived accurately. It was a little bit high, so we'll give Selby an infield hit. There's just not much margin for error in softball.
60-foot bases, things happen fast. We do have a courtesy runner, right, Gary, but I can't quite see who it is.
I think that is Ramsey Hofer, I believe. Brooklyn Cahoy, the team's leader in hits, fouls one off. She's a .333 hitter on the season. Cahoy, the shortstop, we talked about it in our broadcast last week also. She's a pilot as well.
Yeah, she was telling me about that. I think she told me she flew into Sioux Falls Airport, and I think she had to fly in by herself one time this summer, which would be a little scary, I would think.
I know that she had been working on that for a couple of years, or at least back to the summer before this.
Right.
1-1 to Brooklyn Cahoy, a senior at O'Neill High School. Hofer, the runner at first base. The pitch. This one is threw for a strike. Good-looking pitch on the inside corner. Not a lot she probably could have done with that.
Yeah, there's some movement on that. You would have had to have kind of been sitting on that curveball and be able to really open up the hips to get the bat head out to it and pull it is about all you could have done.
In center field, Scudler a step toward left. The 1-2 from Dvorak, the pitch, way outside. Tried to get Cahoy to go fishing, but she wasn't buying it, so the count evens up at 2-2. A runner at first and one out here in the bottom of the first, scoreless game. Glad to have you, KBRX O'Neill, and on Eagle Eye Broadcasting. Dvorak, junior pitcher. This one is high, took something off that one, and so now Cahoy has worked a full count, 3-2. Cahoy also a track and field athlete. She was a state qualifying pole vaulter in May.
One of the most even-keeled athletes I've been around.
This one is swung on and missed for strike 3. So Cahoy gone swinging, and here's Grace Druke, the third baseman. Druke, a .304 hitter with 2 doubles, 7 hits on the season. And Druke, a fine wrestler as well. She was the MVP of the girls' portion of the Disney Duels this summer. I think she won every match by pin, actually.
She did.
This one is, there goes the runner. Hofer going to have a play on her, and she is out. 2-6 on the putout. Caught stealing is Ramsey Hofer, and so the Eagles gone in the bottom of the first. No runs, a couple of hits, there were no errors, and no runners left on base. After a full inning of play, Pinnacle Bank scores scoreless between Pierce and O'Neill. Back with a second after these messages.
Ranchland Auto Supply is your locally owned and operated CarQuest store in downtown O'Neill, Nebraska. They have a large selection of parts and accessories to keep your vehicle and equipment running. Ranchland Auto delivers around O'Neill's to many local communities every day and offers in-house hydraulic hose production. Our employees are always ready to serve the community with the combined experience of over 100 years in the automotive and heavy equipment industry. Stop by or call Ranchland Auto Supply today and let a friendly parts professional help you with all your automotive needs.
Experience luxury and style at Signature Salon in O'Neill, Nebraska, where your beauty is our signature. Pamper yourself with our top-tier nail services, from flawless manicures and pedicures to stunning nail art. Elevate your look with our expert eyelash and eyebrow treatments. You can even achieve that sun-kissed glow all year round with our premium tanning services.
Score 5-2. Selby the pitch. It's outside, back to the screen for ball 1. Kinnison, the catcher, retrieves that and fires it back to her. Halsey, right-handed batting third baseman, right-hander with an even stance. Here's the pitch. This one is outside for ball 2, 2-0 to Kaylin Halsey.
One thing I noticed, Gary, on that pass ball, here in O'Neill, the backstop is not very far away from the catcher.
This one is through for a called strike 1. 2-1 to Kaylin Halsey. Yes, probably only about 12 to 15 feet, maybe. It's not very far, that's for sure. This one swung on. Way behind it was Halsey. She fouls it over toward the Pierce dugout on the first base side, and it caroms off into shallow right field where Emerson Milnerick, the right fielder, picks it up and throws it back into the infield. Not much breeze here, only about 5 miles an hour on a nice night for softball. The pitch. This one swung on and missed for strike 3. So Selby gets her second strikeout of this game. And here's Kylie Dvorak, the pitcher. Dvorak working against her adversary Riley Selby here as she gets ready to stand in. Druke at third is in front of the bag. Cahoy typically plays pretty shallow at short, and she is again. Babutski just a little bit deeper at second. This one swung on and missed, and Selby, some pretty good heat on the stuff right now. That was swung on and missed by Dvorak.
It seems like with her approach, at least versus this Pierce team, is to really try to work the upper half of that zone, maybe even a little bit high, trying to get him to chase.
This pitch tried to check her swing. I think they're going to say she went around. They're going to say, yeah, Brandon Rystrom, as Kerry Davis asked the first base umpire, and said Dvorak went around, so she's behind 0-2. Kaylin Gardner waits in the on-deck circle. A game scheduled for 7 innings, and it very well could go to that. It's expected to be a close battle. This one is upstairs for ball one. 1-2 to Kylie Dvorak.
I was kind of expecting that. Got to swing at the top of the zone, got to swing a little bit out of the zone. Let's rise it up a little bit more and see if we can get her to chase again. This one might be low now to just change that eye level.
And she ran it inside, called strike 3 there on the inside corner. Nice job by Selby of moving the ball around, and she gets the strikeout looking. Her third strikeout in the first one looking, and she struck out 2 in a row here to start the second. Here's Kaylin Gardner, the left fielder.
And the high school football players are starting to trickle in. We could see a little bit more rowdy crowd here in a little bit.
This one is outside for ball one, and I think that's where Kinnison was set up. And Kaylin Gardner, just a sophomore, plays both right and left field. This one is through for a called strike 1-1. Not at the same time, but I mean, she's played both positions, I believe, this year.
She'd be fast if she could.
Yes. This one is swung on and missed for strike 2. 1-2 to Kaylin Gardner with Brunkhorst waiting in the on-deck circle. Nobody aboard and 2 outs.
I'm going to take a guess. Gary, she went down the middle and down low. This one might be high and try to get her to chase.
This one is swung on and missed for strike 3. So Selby strikes out the side in the top of the second. No runs, no hits, no errors for O'Neill, and no Pierce runners left on base. After an inning and a half of play, Pinnacle Bank scores scoreless between the Eagles and Blue Jays. Back to Coney Park after these messages.
Experience luxury and style at Signature Salon in O'Neill, Nebraska, where your beauty is our signature. Pamper yourself with our top-tier nail services, from flawless manicures and pedicures to stunning nail art. Elevate your look with our expert eyelash and eyebrow treatments. You can even achieve that sun-kissed glow all year round with our premium tanning services. Need a fresh hairstyle? Our talented stylists are here to craft the perfect cut and color just for you. Plus, explore our exclusive signature services that cater to your every beauty need. Visit Signature Salon today and let us help you shine.
Wakefield Insurance Agency is here to help protect all the moving parts of your life with auto, home, life, and financial services. The team at Wakefield Insurance Agency make it simple to bring together what matters to you.
And those can come back to haunt. I guess the aggressive philosophy is, this is ball 1 to Druki, is that you'll see the coaches will sometimes say make the defense make plays early, and Pierce certainly did that.
Yes, they did.
Pitch. This one swung on, fouled straight back by Grace Druki, who was a sophomore at O'Neill High School.
The flip side of that is if you can get them to throw it around a little bit, get them rattled, get some runs early, it could really snowball into a lot of runs in a short period of time.
Typically, O'Neill's been a very aggressive team through the years on the bases. Here is Druki, standing in 1-1 count. This pitch is swung on again and fouled back. Talked about O'Neill's volleyball team being on the road at Boone Central. Pierce, I talked with Paul Harder, of course, the grandfather of Pierce volleyball player Abby Cohn, and he said that Pierce's volleyball team had a big one with Norfolk Catholic tonight.
That would be
and I did not know the venue. Yeah, right. Not sure if it was in Norfolk or in Pierce. Not sure of that. The pitch is outside for a ball. 2-2 to Grace Druki. Third baseman Halsey again just in front of the bag. Dvorak tosses the ball into her glove a couple times, checks the wristband. 2-2 to Druki. This one is swung on and missed for strike 3. For Dvorak, her second strikeout, and that's her second in a row. And here's Danny Rouse, the first baseman, as some of the O'Neill football players start to form the student body behind the center field fence. Last week they were in left field. They must be working their way around the diamond.
Some goofy looking outfits out there. You see a cowboy hat and a tank top, jean shorts and cowboy boots.
And
I'm not sure what that's supposed to represent, I guess.
1-0 the count to Rouse, with Kinnison waiting on deck. Danny Rouse, right-handed batting first baseman, already a junior. I had to double check the program there. This one is upstairs for ball 2, 2-0, and then also
she can hit with a little power. She had an over-the-fence home run, I think, later in the summer, and has hit a few hard this fall.
Had a triple last week against Ponca. Swan held back, but takes it for a called strike one, 2-1. 300 hitter on the season is Rouse. She's also knocked in 4 runs. So 2-1 to Danny Rouse. Kinnison waits in the on-deck circle. Dvorak, the pitch. This one is outside for ball 3. So 3-1. Yeah, it really was. Good discipline there by Rouse to lay off that one. Outfield straight away for the right-hander. As Dvorak looks in. The pitch. This one is through for a strike. Caught the corner. Good job there by Sporletter, the catcher. And a 3-2 count now. Payoff pitch upcoming to Danny Rouse. Dvorak, the pitch. This one swung on, hit down the third base line and just foul. Just missed extra bases by an eyelash to Danny Rouse. She wasn't taking any chances. That was inside half and maybe even a little bit more in, but protecting the plate, she rips it foul down the left field line.
You'll hear a lot of good hitters get to a 2-strike count, and they're really good at fouling off till they see a pitch they like.
Pitch. This one swung on, lined in the center field. It's going to hold up for Scudler, who makes the catch. So a loud out for Rouse. A line drive to center for out number 2.
I would put that in the book as a quality at-bat. Saw a lot of pitches, fouled it off, and really hit it on the nose. Just happened to go right at the center fielder.
Here's Kinnison, the catcher, a right-hander with an open stance. She likes to stand up in the front part of the box, does Harley Kinnison. If she gets on, O'Neill would most likely run for her, probably in the person of Ellie Hoffman. This one is outside for ball 1. 1-0 to Kinnison was Emerson Lemerick waiting in the on-deck circle.
Gary, I've noticed a lot of our girls tend to crowd the front of that batter's box.
Dvorak, the pitch. Swung on, hit in the air to right center. This one's going to get in the power alley. It's going to be up against the fence, and Kinnison around second, heading for third, and should be in there with a stand-up triple. Harley Kinnison really gave it a ride, the game's first extra base hit, and Kinnison, they're going to call time. I'm sure that they'll run for it. There is Ellie Hoffman coming out of the dugout, and Kinnison will go back and get the catcher's gear on.
A really good piece of hitting. It was a ball that was up and on the outside half of the zone. And what a lot of hitting coaches will tell you is that they want you to take the ball to the field where it's pitched at. So if it's outside, you go to right field, right center field. If it's inside, you go to left field or left center. And that's exactly what she did with it. And it was she's got a little speed, more than I thought. She got around there in a hurry.
She really did. Here's Emerson Lemerick, who has 6 runs batted in this season, a .261 hitter. Lemerick takes this one outside for a ball. Lemerick, of course, ran on that outstanding 3,200-meter relay team for the St. Mary's Cardinals of 1 Class D last May in Omaha. 9:49.4, I believe, was their very impressive time.
Yeah, they had a really nice track season last year.
She's a 3-sport athlete. Has in the past has qualified for state in the hurdles as well, in the 100 hurdles. 1-1 the count on Lemerick. The right fielder for O'Neill has played a little bit of first base through her career, I believe, as well. So a 1-1 count with the go-ahead run on third base in the person of Ellie Hoffman. This pitch is outside for a ball, 1-0, and by the way, Lemerick and Hoffman, they are classmates at St. Mary's, both juniors at St. Mary's. 2-1 the count to Emerson Lemerick. Pitch. Swung on and hit foul, out of play on the right side, so it evens up at 2-2. Dvorak, a strike away from getting through the second unscathed. We're scoreless in the bottom half of inning number 2. O'Neill and Pierce here high school girls softball regular season game between two mid-state conference opponents.
Two pretty evenly matched based off of past history.
This pitch is swung on and missed. It wasn't fouled. It was fouled, so Monarch stays alive. It popped away from the catcher, and maybe Monarch wasn't quite sure if it was going to be fair, or maybe she didn't make contact. She was headed to first base. But sent it back to the plate.
A lot of coaches will say, you just run. They'll tell you if it's foul.
Correct. Dvorak. The pitch. This one is swung on and hit foul again, so Monarch fouling off some tough pitches there. With Hoffman still there at third base, she's the courtesy runner after Kinnison's two-out triple.
You know, we talked about batters being up in the batter's box. Sometimes coaches will tell you to move up if they think the pitcher isn't throwing as hard.
This one swung on and missed for strike three. So Dvorak works around Kinnison's two-out triple for the Eagles in the second. No runs, a hit. There were no errors, and one runner left on base. Scoreless through two as we check our Pinnacle Bank scoreboard. Back with a third after you listen to these messages.
Great Plains State Bank is about great personal service. Like most banks, Great Plains State Bank offers ag loan options that fit your needs. Visit with a team you know and trust that will help you grow your yield. We are local people making local decisions that impact your success. Stop in today and let's talk. Great Plains State Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
One come to bat for Pierce here in the top of the third. Scoreless game between the Eagles and Blue Jays. Brunkhorst, Gardner, and Scudler. Somebody reaches base. Sporletter would bat. Riley Selby. This one down low for ball one. 1-0 to Peyton Brunkhorst. She glances down to the third base box, and Coach Grant King kicks a little dirt around. Brunkhorst right back in there. This one is through for a called strike one. 1-1 to Peyton Brunkhorst. Brunkhorst on the season, 208 hitter. She is a junior. This one's down low for a ball. 2-1 the count. Sporletter, Shaylee Gardner, Aubrey Hanson are the three seniors for this Pierce team. And that leaves them to just 8 other players on the roster, so sure they're hoping to get some support from their 8th grade class. This one's up high for a ball. 3-1 the count. But you oftentimes see that happen, though, with a lot of sports options. Kids, sometimes they'll see an opportunity maybe to play early in their career at the varsity level. This one's down low for a ball. So that is a walk to Brunkhorst, and here's Shaylee Gardner.
Well, and as enrollments shrink in some of these, Class C schools and stuff, it's going to get harder and harder to field teams, especially for girls sports in the fall, because they've got, am I right, they've got 4 to choose from?
Yeah, cross country, golf, volleyball, softball, correct. Yes. And here is Gardner, Shaylee, the first baseman. Went down to talk with Coach King, maybe a bunt from the 9 spot. She wasn't showing it there. This one is taken for a called strike one. 0-1 to Shaylee Gardner with Evan and Scudler waiting on deck. So Brunkhorst at first with nobody out. First time that either team has put a leadoff hitter on. There goes the runner. Swung on miss. Throw to second, not in time. Brunkhorst into the head first slide. But the count 0-2 now on Gardner.
Pretty quick release. It just, but base runner might have a little speed because Kinnison got rid of it pretty quick.
Yes, Brunkhorst did appear to. I remember from last year, I think she swiped a couple against O'Neill in that mid-state tournament as well. Selby, the pitch. This one swung on and missed for strike 3. So quickly gone is Gardner for out number 1, but now a runner on second base after the steal by Brunkhorst. Here's Evelyn Scudler, a strikeout victim back in the first. So she's 0 for 1. Scudler, center fielder, already with a put out from that position. So the crowd continues to file in here to Kearney Park. This one is swung on and missed for strike one, 0-1 to Scudler.
So continuing to work the upper part of the zone with these good Pierce hitters at the top of the lineup.
She has 5 strikeouts already. Actually, 5 of the 7 outs recorded by the O'Neill defense have been strikeouts by Selby. Showing bunt, pulling back, taking it for a strike is Scudler. So she's behind 0-2. Brunkhorst a long ways off second, but when contact wasn't made with a bunt, she quickly went back to the bag. So she holds at second base, and now an 0-2 count to Scudler with Sporletter waiting on deck. Pierce with a runner in scoring position for the second time tonight. This one is swung on and fouled back. Count holds at 0-2. Hanson singled and stole second back in the first, but was stranded there when Kraft flied to center. 0-2 the count. Selby. The pitch. Swung on and missed. High heat from Selby. And O'Neill, an out away from getting through the third unscathed. Here's Sporletter. Put the ball in play. She was out 6-3. Cahoy to Rouse for the second out in the top half of inning number 1. Outfield straight away for the right-hander. This one is a called strike one at the knees. 0-1 to Sporletter. The lone reserve player for Pierce is Jordan Schwady, who's listed as a first baseman outfielder. Have not seen her yet in this game. This one swung on and popped foul back out of play. So the count goes to 0-2 on Sporletter. Pierce was here pretty early, and they were using the cage that the old chain link cage over toward the rodeo grounds. It doesn't get a lot of use. In fact, I think maybe the last 2 teams I remember using that were both Pierce teams back a year or 2 ago in the Mike Emery era. They used that one as well. This one is down low as Kinnison actually just runs the ball back to the pitcher. She ran Brunkhorst back to second and then handed it off to Selby. O'Neill, of course, hits over in the indoor facility that they have over to the north side of field 3. This pitch inside, good block by Kinnison. That'll hold the runner at second base.
Kinnison did a good job when that runner gets that big lead and she's kind of daring you to do something with it. If you try to throw behind them, they usually break on the throw, so it's best just to run at them, make them make a decision, and keep them at the base that they're moving from.
2-2 to Sporletter. She fouls this one off, protecting the plate on the inside fastball. So the count holds at 2-2. O'Neill game with Drucke at third, Cahoy at short, Pabutsky at second, Rouse at first, Scott in left, Schofield center, Milnerick in right, Kinnison catching, and Selby pitching. Selby, the pitch. This one's inside. Good block again by Kinnison. It was a little low. So the count runs full. So she's run the string out on the 2-hitter and catcher for Pierce, Alexis Sporletter, with Hanson waiting on deck. And that's not a player O'Neill wants to see come to the plate. Aubrey Hanson with her power. This one is up high, and that's exactly what's going to happen, as that's Selby's first walk of the game. And here's Aubrey Hanson, who singled and was stranded at second back in the first. She has the only Pierce hit thus far, and Selby's walked 2 here in the third. Selby trying to get out of a jam with 2 outs. The pitch, down low for a ball, 1-0 to Aubrey Hanson, who has 3 home runs on the season.
You may see Kinnison call timeout and go talk to her pitcher here if she doesn't get anything going.
This is swung on and missed. Hanson, to add to her numbers, she has 14 hits and has driven in 11 runs on the season. So she's averaging more than an RBI a game.
That's pretty darn good.
1-1 to Aubrey Hanson. This pitch is upstairs for a ball, 2-1. And a walk here wouldn't maybe be the worst thing for O'Neill, but keep in mind Kraft on deck, she has a home run and also is a .560 hitter. Dangerous part of the order for sure. And this one is hit foul, out of play on the right side.
Yeah, it's kind of a pick your poison thing. I think I'd rather have the person with runners on first and second hitting as opposed to a bases loaded situation.
2-2 the count to Hansen. The pitch. This one swung on, bounced to third. Drucke grabs and races to the bag, and she'll get the force out. So Drucke forces Brunkhorst at third base, and Brunkhorst was out there for a long time at second base as she led off the inning with that walk, but Drucke gets her 5 unassisted for out number 3 as Hansen reached on the fielder's choice, but Pierce gone in the top of the third. No runs on no hits. There were no errors and 2 runners left on base. Good run here from Kearney Park. After 2.5 innings, our Pinnacle Bank scores scoreless between the Blue Jays and Eagles. Back with the bottom of the third after these messages.
Many lenders work in agriculture, but only one works for it. Mission-driven and owned by the producers we serve, we help customers manage risk, grow their success, and achieve goals. More than just another lender in agriculture, we strive to be its most valued. Discover a lender that works for you at Farm Credit Services of America.
When marketing your greatest assets, you may only do it once in a lifetime. Land Marketers Realty wants to be by your side from start to finish when you pursue this endeavor. With many years of high-level experience representing clients from 40 acres to over 10,000 acres, we specialize in assisting in the completion of complex transactions that include estate settlements, seller financing, first-time landowners, and 1031 exchanges. When the time comes to consider marketing or stewardship options for your farm or ranch, give us a call today to discuss your goals.
And the Eagles come to bat here in the bottom half of inning number 3. Sorensen, Scott, and Schofield. As soon as he reaches base, Riley Selby would bat. No score. And Tinsley Sorensen coming to the plate for the first time tonight. She's a designated player, the softball equivalent to the designated hitter that came into Major League Baseball back in 1973.
Does NSA high school allow for an extra hitter like summer softball does?
I don't believe so. This one is swung on and fouled to the plate by Sorensen for strike 1. Sorensen runs really well. Earlier this year, in the first game of the year against St. Paul, O'Neill had runners on second and third with less than 2 outs, and someone hit a deep fly ball to center. Sorensen actually tagged and scored all the way from second base.
That's impressive.
I was talking, this one swung on and missed for strike 2. I was talking with a guy from St. Paul via text. I shouldn't say talking, we were communicating. And I asked him if he had ever seen that before through baseball or anything, and he said he never had, and I never had either in baseball or softball.
Not without like a throwing error or something like that. Just a straight tag from second go all the way home without a throwing error is, I don't know if I've never seen it either.
This is inside for ball 1 now. There was a time in the World Series where some thought that it might happen had it not been for a sensational throw by Willie Mays. This one is down low. That was in Game 1 of the 1954 World Series.
Did you watch that one?
Yeah, I was in 4th grade, yeah. Actually, Vic Wirtz came up for the Indians and hit that deep fly ball to the massive polo grounds in center field. This one swung and bounced off the glove of DeVort. Glove by Hansen, throw across, not in time. That'll be an infield hit. We talked about Sorensen's speed, and that's one where, if DeVort doesn't glove that, and you don't know, you don't say that, right? But if DeVort doesn't glove it, Hansen maybe makes the routine play. She was moving that way, but it went off the glove, and on the Karam Hansen field, it still made a really strong throw. And Sorensen, though, beats it out for the infield hit, and here's Bristol Scott. But yes, on that deep fly ball by Wirtz, of course, everybody knows the over-the-shoulder catch and the running catch by Willie Mays, but some people don't realize the underrated part of that is that he was able to plant so quickly and throw back in because there was a runner on second base, and there was a thought maybe that the guy could have scored. Selby on the tag. There's Sorensen stealing second base. We talked about her speed, and she's definitely showing it. The pitch was a called strike to Scott. So 0-1 to Bristol Scott, who's the last starter on either team to come to the plate. This pitch showing bunt, she pulls back, and there goes Sorensen to third, close play, she's in there. So Sorensen putting pressure on the Pierce defense. The pitch was a ball to Scott. Scott actually one of the few players in this game who has a pronounced closed stance.
She actually has an over-the-fence home run in a JV game earlier this year.
Bristol Scott does well, okay.
So, I mean, the 9 spot, sometimes you, on the 9-hitter, you'll see a lot more fastballs, and they'll come straight at you. She has the ability to hit it hard.
This one is outside for a ball. I tell you who does remember that 54 World Series, though. Well, my late father, who was a huge Cleveland Indians fan, now they're the Guardians, and several of my uncles, a lot of them in those days, they were Indians fans. There weren't as many teams in the Midwest. They loved Bob Feller, and they still, some of them are alive, lament the fact that the Giants took it to the Indians back in the 54 World Series. This one's fouled out of play on the right side. 2-2 to Bristol Scott with Loretta Schofield waiting in the on-deck circle. And the Cleveland Indians / Guardians have not won a World Series since 1948. They're the longest franchise that was originally in the league that has to have not won one. This one is up high for a ball. 3-2 to Bristol Scott with Schofield waiting on deck. Sorensen at third, and nobody out for O'Neill scoreless game. Bottom half inning number 3. O'Neill trying to break through here and get on the board.
Deep fly ball would do the trick, I think.
And this one is inside for a ball. Was I off on the count there? I know it was 2-2. Now it's 3-2. I beg your pardon. 3-2 the count to Scott. I missed a pitch in there somewhere, or added one, I guess I should say. So one swung and lined in left field, solid base hit. Sorensen will score easily. Scott around first and heading into second, and all of a sudden O'Neill getting the offense going. So Bristol Scott drives in Sorensen with the game's first run.
Yeah, every baseball or softball coach will tell you that they love to get production out of the bottom half of their lineup, and the Eagles getting that done here in the bottom of the third.
So Sorensen singled, stole second, stole third, and then scored on Scott's double, and Scott now in scoring position for Loretta Schofield. Schofield up there, she is 1 for 1, had an infield hit. This one is through for a called strike one. 0-1 to Schofield. Schofield that was trying to, as the throw got past the first baseman, she was trying to advance on what we called an infield hit. If she would have advanced, it would have been an infield hit, then an error, but she was thrown out 3-4 on a good play by the Pierce defense. She shows bunt and pops it foul. So 0-2 to Loretta Schofield with Riley Selby waiting in the on-deck circle. 1 run in and a runner on second. Nobody out here for the Eagles. Bottom half inning number 3, a game scheduled for 7. Schofield.
When she scored around the bunt, she had the bat at the top of the strike zone, and usually what you're told is if it's higher than that, you leave it go. And she chased a little bit and fouled it off to take it to 0-2.
This pitch swung unlined into right field and fairly deep. It's going to get over the head of the right fielder Kraft. Scott had to hold, but she'll round third, and she is going to score standing up and into third base with a triple to Schofield, and then it's going to be an error as Schofield's going to run home. The throw got past the third baseman Halsey, and everything going the way of the Eagles here in the bottom half of the third as Scott scores on what will be a triple for Loretta Schofield, and then Schofield scores on the throwing errors. It got past the third baseman Halsey, and the Eagles now all of a sudden have a 3-0 lead, and Selby the pitcher up there. Still nobody out. Schofield hit that one hard. Kraft reached up, but it was over her head and up against the fence. Selby trying to help her own cause. The pitch swung on, hit right back up the middle, and the Eagle bats have come alive for O'Neill. That is the 4th straight hit off of Dvorak, who had thrown really well the first couple innings, and she struck out 3 through the first 2 innings. Here comes Ramsey Hofer, and out goes Riley Selby. That'll be a courtesy runner for Selby, which you can do for the pitcher. So Selby, go over and get a drink and get a little rest. Here's Brooklyn Cahoy, the shortstop for O'Neill. This one's inside for a ball. One of the things I always do with the Eagle Eye broadcast partners, I'll ask them who's the most famous or a well-known major league player who wears a uniform number.
Man.
And I had, some of these are pretty obvious. Hofer has 7. You think, Mickey Mantle. 4, you think, which is worn by Grace Struke. You think Lou Gehrig. Not that I'm a Yankees fan. Okay? But I don't think anything but with Cahoy 18. Moises Alou, I think, did he wear? I think he wore 18. This one was that's not quite as well known of a professional baseball number.
Some of those Yankee guys have middle names that you can't say on radio.
Correct, yes. 3-0 the count on Cahoy. O'Neill tries to keep the line moving. You're already leading 3-0. This pitch is through the old automatic for a called strike 1. 3-1 to Brooklyn Cahoy with Grace Struke in the on-deck circle. O'Neill's plated 3 here in the bottom half of inning number 3, and they have Ramsey Hofer, courtesy runner for Selby, at first base. The pitch, swung on and fouled back. Cahoy, a bit of a closed stance, somewhat like Scott, the person we saw in the 9-hole for O'Neill. 3-2 to Brooklyn Cahoy. Veteran of this O'Neill team. She's been a member of the varsity since her freshman year.
Just an all-around pretty good kid, like most of the girls on the field.
Bounce to third, Halsey to second for the force, and Cahoy's aboard on the fielder's choice. So they get Hofer 5-4 for the force out for out number 1. So Brooklyn Cahoy, who runs pretty well over there, is at first base, and here's Grace Struke. Struke, in her first at bat, struck out back in the second, so she's 0 for 1, but a player with some speed and power. And Struke chokes up just a little bit on the bat. This is high for ball 1. 1-0 to Grace Struke. Right-handed batter. The Eagles have the blue jerseys, the black pants. Pierce with the black jerseys, the black pants, and the blue socks. O'Neill has the retro stirrup socks. This one is swung on and missed for strike 1. 1-1 to Grace Struke with Cahoy at first and 1 out. In right field, Kraft a step over toward the line. Danny Rouse waits on deck. 3-0 O'Neill, bottom of third. Don't forget they're getting ready to kick off football on 102.9 FM. Summerlin playing host to Crofton. Tyler Holcomb, Tim Hansen on site for that one. This one's popped foul out of play on the right side. So 1-2 the count. Chuck Price, a few words with Struke. One of them, a lot of these players who play on that NCN Lightning summer team. For O'Neill, they had a good year. This one up high, so it evens up at 2-2 on Struke.
That's a pretty good take. That wasn't a horrible pitch, but it was up just enough, and Grace was able to lay off.
Glad to have you at 99.9 FM, 1350 AM, The Rock, KBRX O'Neill. Internet at KBRX.com. This one is upstairs for ball 3. I also welcome those of you watching on our video feed on Eagle Eye Broadcasting, the O'Neill High Broadcast Avenue, as they cover a ton of activities. They had junior high football on this afternoon. This one swung on and fouled out of play on the right side.
We got Emily Morrow running that Eagle Eye Broadcast. I don't know if she's still in shape, but she was a pretty good pitcher herself back in the day for us.
Right, she
was a summer softball squad.
Right, she played summer softball and then volleyball in the fall. Yep. So one swung on, grounded through the left side, solid base hit for Struke when he gets by the left fielder Gardner, and around third and coming home is Cahoy into third. Close play, they got her at third. So for Struke, she'll get the RBI. She drives in, well, she actually won't because of the error. I beg your pardon there. I spoke too soon. But Cahoy does score. For Struke, that'll be a single, and then an error, and a 7-6-5. Yes, it was, correct, for out number 2. So again, O'Neill putting pressure on the defense, and Pierce has delivered with some nice plays, but O'Neill does have a 4-0 lead as well. That's a third base runner O'Neill's had thrown out tonight. This one's hitting the air to right or to left. Gardner comes on and she makes the running catch. So Rouse gone on one pitch for out number 3, but a good inning for O'Neill it was, as the Eagles come up with 4 runs on 5 hits. There were 2 errors and no runners left on base. After 3 complete, your Pinnacle Bank score it is O'Neill 4, Pierce 0, back with a 4th after these messages.
At Connaught Tire Service, we are your local experts in O'Neill on everything from tires and brakes to tune-ups, electrical diagnostics, and most other repairs. We offer the best prices on high-quality parts, and we pride ourselves on excellent customer service. We offer a variety of top brands to suit every customer's needs and budget. The next time an automotive issue comes up, bring it to the experts at Connaught Tire Service.
Need electrical work done? Look no further than Shad's Electric, your go-to for all your residential, commercial, and agricultural wiring needs. Family owned and based in O'Neill, Shad's Electric is ready to serve you. Call 402-340-1242 today. That's 402-340-1242. Shad's Electric, lighting up your life.
Pierce here in the top half of the 4th, O'Neill leading 4-0. Kraft, Halsey, Dvorak, and then Gardner if somebody reaches base. So Pierce now looking for an answer to those 4 runs that O'Neill scored in the bottom half of inning number 3. Kraft 0 for 1 tonight, fly ball to center, bounce to second. Babitsky on a high hop, throw to first in time, and Kraft gone 4-3 for out number 1. And Darcy Babitsky did a nice job. That was a really high chopper there, and it was taking her up the middle. Babitsky, though, stayed with it, got it on that high hop, and fired a dart over to Rouse at first for out number 1. Here's Kaylin Halsey with Dvorak waiting on deck.
I think she really topped that ball, and I think it had a heck of a lot of spin on it. Made it a tougher play than what it looked like.
This one is outside for ball 1. 1-0 to Kaylin Halsey. Selby has struck out 6. So I'll count him up. This one he is high for ball 2, 2-0. 6 strikeouts for Selby, and she's allowed just 1 hit thus far. The pitch. This one swung on and missed. She ran it inside, and Halsey waved at it, so 2-1 the count. Kylie Dvorak waiting in the on-deck circle. She's the pitcher. Outfield straight away. The pitch. Down low, 3-1, and it was called a strike. I gave up a little too soon there. Again, we cannot hear Gary Davis. A lot of times umpires will say strike, and then the signal will come a couple seconds later, and I look down at my book. There's ball 3. 3-2 the count to Halsey. And you can understand she wants to work along at bat. Pierce needs base runners. Pitch swung on, hit foul, drifting out of play on the right side. And O'Neill does not have as many players in uniform as they normally would. There are 20 players on the roster for O'Neill, but there was no JV game tonight because Pierce has just 10 players. Earlier this week, actually yesterday morning, in fact, I had a chance to talk with Chuck Price. I recorded an interview that will air at halftime. This one's swung on and fouled to the plate. Halftime on the Wakefield State Farm Insurance halftime report tomorrow night from Gordon. Steve Brown and I plan to travel to Gordon, that 3-hour trip to the west, to call the O'Neill Eagles at Gordon Rushville. This one is outside for a ball. That game kicks off at 6 o'clock Mountain Time, or 7 o'clock here in the Central Daylight Zone. Halsey gets the 1-out walk, and here's Dvorak.
Will this be the first time O'Neill has met Gordon Rushville as a...
Correct, yeah. O'Neill has played Rushville before and played Gordon before, not for a lot of years. I'll have all that stuff for you tomorrow night.
Don't want to give it all
away. Yeah, tune in tomorrow night, 99.9 FM and 1350 AM The Rock on the internet, kbrx.com. This one's down low, so all of a sudden, Selby having a little trouble finding the zone. Kylie Dvorak is 0 for 1 tonight, struck out looking back in the second. Up there now with a chance to help her own cause with Halsey at first base and 1 out. Selby's pitch. This one is through for a called strike 1. 1-1 to Kylie DeVork with Kaylin Gardner waiting on deck.
Yeah, Gary Davis might have one of the biggest pauses between the called strike and the signaled strike for the umpires that I've seen.
Some umpires, after this pitch, I'll get to that, is inside for a ball. Sometimes, and maybe I just haven't watched Gary Davis enough, but there are some umpires, probably more so in baseball, where I can tell by their reaction, by their stance after they've called a strike, when it's just verbalized that they're going to signal the strike. But I've been able to pick that up with Gary. An outstanding umpire.
I had him umpire a lot of games way back when Amanda was playing summer softball, and when he walked out on the field, you knew you were going to get a solid effort, and you felt pretty confident about you weren't going to have any intense conversations with him.
3-1 the count. The pitch swung on and hit foul back to the screen, so the count even moves to 3-2 on Dvorak.
I think when he calls it a ball, he tends to stand up and lean left pretty quickly. When he calls it a strike, he stays in the stand.
That's what I have to watch, because I was watching for something there. I'll try to keep an eye on that. This one is swung on this big comeback there from Selby, who was down 3-1. She comes back to get Dvorak swinging for out number 2. And here's Kaylin Gardner, the left fielder, herself a strikeout victim, back in the second. 7 Ks for Selby, 6 of them swinging so far in this contest. There's 2 outs, top of the 4th. O'Neill leads at 4-0. Selby's pitch, this one is through for a called strike 1. 0-1 the count to Gardner with Brunkhorst waiting on deck. Gardner is the left fielder. Pitch from Selby. This one's inside, back to the screen. That'll be a wild pitch. And to second base goes Halsey. And that's something that, being down 4-0, that's something that kind of puts the clamps on the running game as well for Pierce. So 1-1, last thing they want is to have somebody thrown out on the bases.
Right. You don't want to give away outs. You want to make the defense earn their outs.
This again runs way inside. So 2-1 to Gardner. O'Neill pushed 4 across to the bottom of the 3rd to assume this 4-0 lead. Pierce trying to play a run here in the 4th with a runner at second and 2 outs. Riley Selby the pitch. This one just high for ball 3. 3-1 to Kaylin Gardner.
So he stands up pretty quick when it's a ball. He stays down when it's a strike.
The pitch. This one looks like it caught the inside corner, and it did, for a called strike 2. 3-2 to Gardner. So Steve Brown has found the formula there. We're behind the screen here in the air conditioning. Feels very comfortable. A great view of the action. This one is swung on and missed. So Selby, on successive batters, comes back from 3-1 to record strikeouts, and Pierce gone to the 4th. No runs, no hits. There were no errors. 1 runner left on base. After 3.5 innings of play, your score is your Pinnacle Bank score: O'Neill 4 and Pierce 0. Back with the bottom half inning number 4 after these messages.
Who do you trust to take care of you during an emergency? With over 40 years of experience, Riser Insurance helps their clients professionally and efficiently. They specialize in home, auto, business, and life and health insurance, as well as farm and crop coverage and retirement services. Riser Insurance provides experience and excellence when you need it most. Stop in at 217 South 4th Street in O'Neill or call 402-336-1983 for all your insurance and retirement needs.
There's a new tomorrow on the other side of the horizon. There are houses to make into homes, businesses to be built, and friendships to enjoy.
Someday's gonna be one day soon.
Build your tomorrow with a bank you can rely on. Pinnacle Bank, the way banking should be.
Glad to have you. 99.9 FM, 1350 AM The Rock, KBRX O'Neill on the internet at kbrx.com, and also streaming live on Eagle Eye Broadcasting. Don't forget over on 102.9 FM, Tyler Holcomb, Tim Hansen at Summerlin High School for Crofton at Summerlin. Good game in Class D1 8-man football. Here's Kinnison, who tripled her last time up. This one is up high for a ball. 1-0 to Kinnison, who tripled with 2 outs in the second, but her courtesy runner was stranded right there before O'Neill had the big outburst in the bottom of the third. Pitch, swung on, popped up on the right side in the shallow right field. Brunkhorst goes back on the outfield grass. She makes the catch. That's a nice play by second baseman Peyton Brunkhorst for out number 1. Here's Emerson Lemerick.
Yeah, that's a little tougher catch than what most people think. When you're moving back, you're moving from dirt into grass, it usually drops off a little bit. Pretty good concentration to be able to haul that one in.
Yeah, thanks to Nate Larson and Jeff Schmeichel getting the field ready here. As this one swung on by Lemerick into right center. Running catch off the glove, though, of Scudler, who tried to make that running catch. Lemerick runs well. She's around second and into third base with a slide. And that will go as a triple for Emerson Lemerick, as Scudler almost made a sensational catch. That was a line drive. It looked like Scudler almost tried to basket catch it, but it went off her glove.
She had to run a long ways even to get a glove on it, and then it almost looked like it maybe tailed towards her a little bit and handcuffed her some.
And O'Neill has done a really good job tonight. Credit the coaching staff. Sometimes players, when the play's in front of them like that, they'll get caught watching the ball.
They listen to their coach.
Right, O'Neill has not done that, as Lemerick was wheeling around second base and didn't hesitate and took third. This one is up high for ball 1, 1-0 to Tensley Sorensen, who started that rally back in the third with that single and stole a couple bases and scored on Scott's double.
I think Gary Davis with the late called strike there, Gary.
Excuse me, I gave up 2 cents. There it is, 0-1 the count. This one swung and bounced. I know it's going to be foul, so it'll move to 0-2. 0-2 on Tensley Sorensen, the freshman who is the designated player, with Lemerick at third and 1 out.
I like the sportsmanship. Sorensen obviously dropped the bat to run to first, and as she's coming back, Pierce catcher picks it up and hands it to her. I like to see that between 2 teams.
Alexis Sporletter, the senior for the Blue Jays, is that catcher. The pitch. This one down low for a ball. 1-2. Now the count on Sorensen with Scott waiting on deck. So O'Neill a chance to extend their lead. Seniors for Pierce are Sporletter, Shaylee Gardner, and Aubrey Hansen. For O'Neill, it's Loretta Schofield and Brooklyn Cahoy. Just 5 total seniors between both teams. This one's way outside for ball 2. 2-2 to Tensley Sorensen. Pierce football team, we talked about O'Neill playing at Gordon Rushville. Pierce football team, they play Logan View, I believe, tomorrow night.
Is that at Pierce? Or?
I am not sure. I'd have to check that out. This one swung on, hit in the air, should get the run in. It's deep enough for sure. Going back is Scudler. She makes a nice catch, but tagging and scoring easily is Emerson Lemerick. Credit Tensley Sorensen with the RBI. Fly ball to center field, and kind of lost in all that is the fine play that Evelyn Scudler, the center fielder, made. That ball really carried, and she drifted back and made that catch in deep center field. Here's Crystal Scott.
Now that does not go against Sorensen's batting average. It's a sac fly, correct?
That is correct.
She gets the RBI and a quality at bat, but no move in the batting average.
0-1 the count to Bristol Scott.
She had a couple older sisters that probably could have taught her a thing or two if she would have been willing to. And she might have listened well, but typically sisters teaching sisters turns into a fight.
Yeah, 3 sisters played, older sisters played. Here's a ground ball to third, throw across by Halsey to first in time, and Scott gone 5-3 for out number 3. But O'Neill adds to their lead. A run on 1 hit, that big triple by Lemerick. There were no errors and no runners left on base. After 4 complete, Pinnacle Bank score, O'Neill 5, Pierce 0. Back with the 5th after these messages.
My family has been in this business for a long time, and we've always put the community first.
Now, our goal when we wake up every morning is how can our communities get to the next level?
Here at the bank, we're very community involved. We definitely like to serve on our committees. Working somewhere that allows me to continue to do that is awesome.
My parents worked together in this bank. My grandparents worked together in this bank.
Being locally owned, being family owned, it is fun to share that spirit.
The reason I like working for Tri-County Bank is the one-on-one contact with our customers.
People know that they can call any of us here if they really need something on my cell phone at 8 o'clock at night. It doesn't matter. That relationship is huge, especially in this day and age. It's just important for me that I could be a part of my family's legacy and keep this bank going, hopefully on to the 5th, 6th, 7th generation.
With Shaylee Gardner waiting in the on-deck circle, that was a fly ball off the bat of O'Neill's Harley Kinnison that Brunkhorst tracked down on the outfield grass from her second base position. This one swung on and missed for strike one. 1-1 to Brunkhorst.
I noticed the Pierce batters tend to crowd the back of the batter's box. It might have to do something with the fact that Riley Selby throws with a little bit of velocity.
She certainly does. That one goes back the screen low, but no damage done as no one's on base. 2-1 the count to Brunkhorst. Shaylee Gardner and then Evelyn Scudler, top of the order for Pierce. Outfield continues to play straightaway. Scott fighting the sun in left field. Shouldn't be a problem much longer. This one is swung on and missed for strike two, so it evens up on Brunkhorst. 2-2 the count. Pierce coming in 3-5 on the season. O'Neill 4-6. Selby, the pitch. This one's outside for ball 3. 3-2 on Brunkhorst. Selby has issued a couple of free passes tonight. Both of those actually came back in the third. And she also walked Halsey in the fourth. Payoff pitch. This one is swung on and missed for strike 3. So Brunkhorst gone swinging for out number 1. And for Selby, her 9th strikeout of this game. She continues to impress, building on that total now with 81 on the season in 10-plus games. This one swung on and missed for strike 1 by Gardner, who struck out back in the third. So she is 0 for 1. Pierce looking to get the offense going, and they're starting now to run out of outs. So we're in the 5th. This one is swung on and missed for strike 2.
And she took a little something off that and had some movement, moved out away from the batter and the velocity of almost like a changeup that had movement.
Selby, the pitch. This one is, she ran it inside for ball 1. 1-2 to Shaylee Gardner. Also a big day of sports tomorrow on KBRX. We'll run that down with our Gutschel, Cole, and Pelster look ahead at the broadcast calendar at the conclusion of this game. This one is swung on and missed for out number 2. So Gardner gone swinging, and Selby now has struck out 4 in a row, all swinging. Dvorak and Gardner to end the top of the 4th, and now Brunkhorst and Gardner, Shaylee Gardner, to start the top of the 5th. Here's Evelyn Scudler. The pitch. I think it came back across for a strike. It did. 0-1 to Scudler. So Scudler stands in, fouls this one straight back for strike 2.
A little high heat. Typically, that's if you don't load early enough, that's a hard pitch to catch up to. So you'd like to see Riley come back with something up, maybe even up and out of the zone.
Pitch. So one swung on and fouled back out of play. So the count holds at 0-2. Take a look at our Three Rivers scorecard brought to you by Three River of Lynch, your telecommunications leader. Here, O'Neill and Pierce softball. Football tonight, Summerlin and Crofton at Summerlin. Westfield Central High at Atkinson. That should be a good one as well. And St. Mary's Burwell here in O'Neill. This pitch is down low for a ball. Volleyball is Boone Central versus O'Neill at Albion. St. Mary's Triangular has Plainview, Summerlin, and St. Mary's. Ainsworth and Ord at Ainsworth. Santee Triangular at Santee, Boyd County, New Oakdale, Santee. CDBC Triangular at Chambers with EPBJ Stewart and the Renegades. This one is swung on and hit foul sharply down the right side. North Central triangular, Bassett, Westholt, Burwell, and North Central there. Girls golf, the Westholt invite at Atkinson held earlier today. Ainsworth, O'Neill, Westholt involved there. Cross country, the Ainsworth invite at Ainsworth, Boyd County, North Central, Westholt, and Nabra Verdigris invite in cross country, Nabra Verdigris, Creighton, CWC among the teams there. So this is definitely a big day of sports around the area. This one's down low for a ball. So count moves to 2-2 on Scudler with nobody aboard, 2 outs here in the 5th. Once again, there's scorecard brought to you by Three River of Lynch. Telecommunications leader. This one swung on, line back up the middle for a sharp base hit for Scudler. Caught up by Schofield. She'll hold Scudler to a long single. For Pierce, just their second hit of the game. And the St. Mary's Cardinals, among those schools that have a big sports day today, a rarity where their volleyball teams and football team both playing on the same night. And, of course, this being a co-op in softball, they have student athletes here as well.
Now, back before the state took over scheduling football schedules, a lot of times volleyball would play before football games.
Oh, that was a staple in the NBC for years. Yes, I remember that very well. This one is down low, and that's why a lot of times the NBC years ago, they wouldn't start high school games till 8 o'clock because they play the volleyball starting with the JV maybe at 4 or 4:30 and then go on into varsity action. This pitch is swung on the liner to second, going to get by Babutsky, trying to stretch from first to third is the runner Scudler, and she's able to do that. And to second base behind her on the throw goes Alexis Sporletter. And my guess is they'll probably score that an error on Babutsky. It was a bit of a low line drive, not hit all that hard. Certainly not the easiest of plays, but it was at her.
Yeah, that ball that you're not quite sure if it's going to one hop you or if you can catch it before it hits the ground, and it's got a lot of spin on it because it looked like it was off the end of the bat. By no means is an easy play.
So runners on second and third with 2 outs, and now a real serious scoring opportunity for Pierce with a good hitter up there in Aubrey Hanson. This one swung on and missed for strike one. Hanson singled and stranded at second in the first and reached on a fielder's choice in the third. So, good contact hitter, pretty good chance she put the ball in play.
I really like her swing. It's quick, it's compact.
And she just compacted one sharply, fouled on the left side. Yes, she gets a bat around in a hurry.
After seeing that pitch her way out in front, you might see that straight change that Riley Selby has. She hasn't thrown it a lot, but this would be a good time to throw that pitch.
0-2 the count to Hanson. This one, it was an off-speed pitch, stayed inside for ball 1. 1-2 to Aubrey Hanson, she of the 3 home runs on this season. Jessica Kraft waits on deck.
Yeah, based on that line drive foul ball, I wouldn't pitch her inside again. I'd want something away that she's got to go chase.
She hits this one sharply to left field. Scott gives chase. It's by her. This will score 2 runs and perhaps 3. Hanson around second. She's going to go to third, and she'll be in there with a 2-run triple. Scott gave it a dive, but Aubrey Hanson, we talked about her bat speed and her power. She's a fine hitter. And she gets Pierce right back in it with a 2-run triple.
Yeah, that's what a good hitter does. It looked like Kennison was set up outside and wanted that pitch on the outside half or maybe even off the plate. And Riley didn't miss by much, but she missed inside enough that a good hitter like that you can't do that with those good hitters. They take advantage of it.
Selby, the pitch to Kraft, swung on here in the air to center, and fielding deep. Schofield goes back, looks up. It's up against the fence. Another run in, and to second base goes Jessica Kraft. So Kraft with a run-scoring double, and Pierce inches even closer, now 5-3. This inning started innocently enough with Brunkhorst and Gardner both going down swinging, but since then, Scudler singled, Sporletter reached on the air, and Hanson tripled, and now Kraft doubles.
That ball carried a long ways, a lot farther than I thought it was going to.
This one swung on and fouled out of play on the right side. Looked like it hit the light pole over there and bounced back onto the playing field. 0-1 the count to Kaylin Halsey, who is 0 for 1 tonight. She has a walk, was on base with that in the 4th. Selby. The pitch. This one caught the inside corner for a called strike 2. And O'Neill trying to get out with no further damage done, leading 5-3, but Pierce has plated 3 here in this top half inning, number 5. Pitch swung on, punched up the middle. Babutski, Cahoy gloves it at the second base bag. It went off Babutski. That'll be an infield hit, a seeing eye single, if I've ever seen one. To third goes Kraft, and runners on the corners with 2 outs. And Dvorak represents the go-ahead run for Pierce at the plate.
It's just how funny the game of softball can be. It was a good pitch. It kind of fooled the hitter a little bit, maybe even got on their fists. But again, gets enough of it, and it puts a funky spin on it, so when it hits, you don't know what it's going to do, and it kind of died right there. It was a tough ball to make a play on.
Yes, with 60-foot bases, a near impossibility there. This one is inside, good block by Kinnison. There goes the runner to second base. But if Kinnison wouldn't have blocked that low pitch from Selby, a good chance that Kraft would have scored. So now the tying in at second base for Pierce, and how this game has changed here with the last 4 or 5 batters. The pitch swung on, fouled back, out of play. 1-1 to Dvorak. Gardner, the 7-hitter, waits on deck. O'Neill with 4 in the third and 1 in the fourth. Pierce here with 3 in the fifth. 5-3 Eagles lead it. As the Fishermen continue beyond the right field fence at Gilposy Pond. This one is swung on and fouled to the plate. 1-2 the count, so Selby a strike away from getting out of the fifth.
I think umpire Gary Davis took that one off the forearm.
Yeah, that's one if you're Kinnison, you want to run out and say, I need to talk to my pitcher.
Yep, you give that umpire a chance to recuperate. Gary's pretty tough, though. I don't think it fazed him much.
1-2 the count, the pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 3. But a productive top of the fifth it was for Pierce. They score 3 runs on 4 hits. There was an error and 2 runners left on base. After 4.5 innings of play, Pinnacle Bank score, O'Neill 5, Pierce 3. Back with the bottom half after these messages.
There's a new tomorrow on the other side of the horizon.
Someday's gonna be one day soon.
Build your tomorrow with a bank you can rely on. Pinnacle Bank.
Country Lane Retirement Home is invested in its residents. Our staff works hard to develop long-term relationships so that we can build a custom program that works best for you. Meeting your needs, especially in our memory care facility, is our first priority. Call today for more information.
We go to the bottom of the fifth with O'Neill leading Pierce 5-3. Glad to have you, KBRX O'Neill, on an Eagle Eye Broadcasting. Top of the order for O'Neill: Schofield, Selby, and Cahoy. Drucke if someone reaches base. Loretta Schofield, 2 for 2 tonight, and has scored a run. She tripled and then scored when the ball got past the third baseman in the relay throw back in the third, that 4-run third for O'Neill. Up there now with a 2-run lead for the Eagles. Left-handed batter in the front of the box, good speed. First offering for Dvorak here in the bottom of the fifth is a called strike 1. 0-1 to Loretta Schofield. O'Neill with 4 in the third, 1 in the fourth, Pierce with 3 in the fifth. Dvorak, the starting pitcher, still out there for Pierce. This pitch is away for ball 1. 1-1 to Loretta Schofield. Take a look ahead at our broadcast calendar, brought to you by Gutschel, Cole, and Pelster Eye Care. Eye Care Professionals in O'Neill. They're located on 10th Street. Call in for an appointment today, 336-2505. This pitch is swung on and fouled by Schofield. Tomorrow, big day of football on 99.9 FM, 1350 AM, and KBX.com. Steve and I plan to be in Gordon as the Mustangs of Gordon Rushville play host to the 1-0 O'Neill Eagles. We'll be on the air with the Dr. Pepper pregame at about 6:45 Central Time. This pitch is swung on and punched into left field. Solid base hit for Schofield, who took it the other way. And O'Neill has the leadoff runner on here in the bottom of the fifth. On 102.9 FM tomorrow on KBX.com in the afternoon, Stewart and SEM at Stewart. I believe that's a 2 o'clock kickoff with Tyler Holcomb and Tim Hansen. Then tomorrow evening at 7 o'clock at Spencer, Boyd Kennedy playing host to Elkhorn Valley. That'll be Tim Hansen and Austin Ham. Again, look at the broadcast counter brought to you by Gutschel, Cole, and Pels Riker. Ground ball to second, Brunkhorst to second for one. The relay back to first, not in time as Selby beats it out. Schofield gone 4-6 on the force for out number one. Selby reaches on the fielder's choice. That was well played, though, by Brunkhorst, the second baseman, who flipped it to the shortstop Hansen covering.
Yeah, it's hard to turn a double play in softball. Like we talked about this earlier, the bases are so close together that it's just you don't have enough time. But she played it very, very well. She was quick. Second base was quick with the release. Shortstop got rid of it quick. It's a good thing Riley Selby was hustling. If she didn't hustle at all, they would have had a chance.
Ramsey Hofer, the courtesy runner for Selby at first base. First pitch swinging, Brooklyn Cahoy. She fouls it off behind 0-1. Cahoy reached out a fielder's choice and scored back in the third inning. Struck out back in the first. So officially she's 0 for 2, but does have a run scored and one of the leading hitters for the Eagles team this year. This one's upstairs for ball one. 1-1 to Cahoy with Truckee waiting on deck. O'Neill would like to play the couple here to get a little more breathing room as that Pierce offense cut into O'Neill's 5-0 lead to make it 5-3. We're in the bottom half of the fifth. This pitch swung on, hit shallow, fly ball to right field. Coming on is Gardner. She makes the catch there. Or excuse me, that's Kraft, I beg your pardon. Jessica Kraft made that catch. So Cahoy gone with a fly ball to right for out number 2. And here is Grace Druke with 2 outs and a runner at first. Looking ahead to the top of the sixth, Pierce will have 7, 8, 9 coming up. And if they could get a run out of that and hold O'Neill at 5, they'd probably like their chances in the 7th if they get the top of the order back up. This one's popped up on the left side. Third baseman Halsey is there. She makes the catch for out number 3. So O'Neill goes fairly quietly in the 5th. No runs, a hit. There were no errors. 1 runner left on base. After 5 complete, Pinnacle Bank score. O'Neill 5, Pierce 3. Back to Kearney Park after these messages.
When marketing your greatest assets, you may only do it once in a lifetime. Land Marketers Realty wants to be by your side from start to finish when you pursue this endeavor. With many years of high-level experience representing clients from 40 acres to over 10,000 acres, we specialize in assisting in the completion of complex transactions that include estate settlements, seller financing, first-time landowners, and 1031 exchanges. When the time comes to consider marketing or stewardship options for your farm or ranch, give us a call today to discuss your goals.
Country Lane Retirement Home is invested in its residents. Our staff works hard to develop long-term relationships so that we can build a custom program that works best for you. Meeting your needs, especially in our memory care facility, is our first priority. Call today for more information.
In the top of the 5th, Gardner over 2 with 2 strikeouts. This pitch down low for ball 1. 1-0 to Kaylin Gardner. She's the left fielder. Her sister, Shaylee Gardner, is the first baseman. And Coach Grant King arrives down there in the third base box as he was over talking with his team. This pitch is upstairs for ball 2. 2-0 to Gardner. Outfield again straight away for the right-handed batter. All the players in the Pierce starting lineup are right-handed batters. Gardner has a slightly open stance. The pitch. This one is swung on and missed for strike 1. 2-1 to Gardner. Selby. 10 strikeouts in this game. This one's down low for a ball, so 3-1 the count.
And I think it's vital that the Eagles don't get base runners here if they don't want to get back to the meaty part of that Pierce lineup.
I cheated Selby a strikeout as she, and that was a called strike three. I missed a pitch, a called strike three, and that now is Selby's 12th strikeout. So Selby there just recorded her 12th strikeout. I was a strike off of that. I apologize. And gone looking as Gardner. That's just the second batter that Selby's retired looking, the other one being Dvorak back in the second. This pitch swung on, punched to right field. Monerick, a long run, makes a diving catch.
That might be the play of the game so far, right there, Gary.
Emerson Monerick with a great diving catch there on that line drive off the bat of Peyton Bunkhorst. And then, appearing no worse for the wear after she got some high fives and congratulations, she fell down again out there on the edge of the grass, but it looks like she's all right.
I think she got tripped up by the lip between the dirt and the grass. And got a good laugh out of it, it looked like.
This now here's Shaylee Gardner with 2 out and nobody aboard. This pitch swung on and missed for strike one. You got to be careful with those celebrations, though. I watched a lot of Utah baseball the last few years because my nephew played for them, and they had a game earlier this year. Is this one swung on a foul of the plate, and you like the excitement, the enthusiasm.
Gotcha.
But what do they call it when the players jump up and I don't know. They had the high five when I was around. I don't know if that's even called. Although players have done it for a long time, but 2 players did that over near the dugout, and the one guy lost his footing and tore his ACL and was out for the season. This one is swung on and missed. So 3 pitches and 3 strikes to Gardner, and she's gone, and Pierce goes in order in the 6th. No runs, no hits, no errors, and no runners left on base. Selby struck out 13 after 5.5. Pinnacle Bank score. It is O'Neill 5, Pierce 3. Back after these messages.
Wakefield Insurance Agency is here to help protect all the moving parts of your life with auto, home, life, and financial services. The team at Wakefield Insurance Agency make it simple to bring together what matters to you.
Ranchland Auto Supply is your locally owned and operated CarQuest store in downtown O'Neill, Nebraska. They have a large selection of parts and accessories to keep your vehicle and equipment running. Ranchland Auto delivers around O'Neill's to many local communities every day and offers in-house hydraulic hose production. Our employees are always ready to serve the community with the combined experience of over 100 years in the automotive and heavy equipment industry. Stop by or call Ranchland Auto Supply today and let a friendly parts professional help you with all your automotive needs.
5, 6, and 7 come to bat for O'Neill here in the bottom half of inning number 6. O'Neill leads Pierce 5-3. Glad to have you, KBRX O'Neill, and also on Eagle Eye Broadcasting for this exciting game. And for O'Neill, 5, 6, 7 coming up. Stick around, though, because regardless of what happens here for O'Neill, Pierce has the top of the order coming up in the top half of inning number 7, and that part of the lineup has been very productive. In fact, there are 3 runs, 1 each from Scudler, Sporletter, and Hanson. Kraft, the 4 hitters, doubled, and the 5-hitter Halsey has a single as well. So this one far from over, that's for sure.
Yeah, I think the Eagles would like to get 1 or 2 insurance runs so we can get through the, I don't know if you quite call it murderer's row in Pierce's lineup, but if it isn't murderer's row, it's pretty darn close.
Here's Danny Rouse, who's 0 for 2, a line to center and a fly to left. She's put it in play twice. Right-handed batting first baseman who lines this one towards short. Over the field it is Hanson. Low throw, though, into first will be Rouse, and that'll be an error. And maybe interference there. Let's see. No, they did not. I thought, yeah,
he signaled for it.
Yeah,
but I don't know if it would have been on the runner for not allowing the first baseman to go get the ball, or if it would have been on the first baseman.
That's what I was wondering. Yes. So they're going to hold the runner at first, I guess.
Right.
Yeah. That was hit to short, kind of toward up the middle. Hanson did a pretty good job of fielding, but fired low, and the first baseman, Shaylee Gardner, couldn't dig it out, and so O'Neill has a leadoff runner on what will go as an E6.
One of the things that this would take a pretty high-level base runner, because there's a lot to pay attention, but as you cross that base, you get bumped into. If you happen to look at the umpire, and he's got his arm out signaling interference, you try to take the base.
Getting the bunt down is the batter, and that is Kinnison. A throw to first, the catcher in time for the out, but on the play, Rouse or Hofer, the runner, goes to second. So a sac bunt and a 2-3 put out for out number one. It does move Hofer into scoring position at second base for Emerson Malarick, who's been swinging a pretty good bat. She tripled her last time up, and she also scored. This one is fouled back for strike one. Malarick made that diving catch in right field for the second out in the top half of this inning. 5-3 O'Neill, bottom half, inning number 6.
I noticed Pierce has made an adjustment with our outfielder. The center fielder was really shading pretty hard to left field, and she's shifted back to playing straight up.
Pitch swung on and hit foul. Out of play on the right side, 0-2. That's Evelyn Scudler, who's made a couple of nice catches in center field for this Pierce team. 0-2 to Malarick with Tinsley Sorensen waiting in the on-deck circle. Malarick, open stance right-hand batter. Tall right-hander at the pitch. Swung on, bounced again up the middle. Hanson is going to go off her glove. They'll hold the runner at third. Good job by Bronkhorst to pick that up and run it back in. I'd be inclined to call that an infield hit.
I think so, pretty easy. I don't know if she could have made the throw. Malarick runs really well. I think it's a great play just to knock it down and keep it in the infield.
Correct.
If she doesn't, that run probably scores.
Yeah, I agree. I think Hanson did well to keep it in the infield. So 2 on, runners on the corners, 1 out for Tinsley Sorensen. A golden opportunity for O'Neill to build on a 2-run lead. Dvorak checks the wristband. Her pitch. This one swung on, bounced weakly to the right side. First baseman Gardner's going to tag the runner, but on the play, Hofer scores, and O'Neill has her 6th run. And on the play, Malarick goes to second base. Not much else Shaylee Gardner could have done, and Sorensen credit her with another run batted in.
Well, and it wasn't hit hard enough for her to go home. She could have, but it wasn't a gimme out, so the smart thing to do is field it and take the out like you just said.
So Sorensen has scored and knocked into for O'Neill tonight. This pitch is high for ball 1 to Bristol Scott. Scott is 1 for 2 tonight. Had a run-scoring double, drove in O'Neill's first run back in the third, that 4-run third. Malarick at second, who runs well. Hit to the outfield with 2 outs would almost certainly score. Scott pops it up into shallow left field. Malarick, of course, running on contact. Back on the outfield grass. Aubrey Hanson makes the catch. And so O'Neill gone in the bottom of the 6th. But O'Neill gets a run on 1 hit. There was an error and 1 runner left on base. After 6 complete, your Pinnacle Bank score, it is O'Neill 6, Pierce 3. Back after these messages.
Creative Advantages is a business consulting firm that maximizes a business's potential by targeting all areas of business while implementing key business and marketing strategies that will optimize sales production and long-term sales profitability. Creative Advantage's passion is working with other business owners and formulating a personalized business and marketing plan that will heighten the opportunity to achieve your business goals. Visit our website at www.creativeadvantages.org to learn more, or contact Abby or Alex at 402-340-9661 and get started.
Built this thing from the ground up out of nothing.
We know you put your heart into your business because that's what Nebraskans do. As a local bank, we put our hearts into helping you. Pinnacle Bank, the way banking should be.
Welcome back to Kearney Park. As Pierce comes to bat in the 7th inning, Pierce needs 3 to see this game continue. What's been a good contest here, and Pierce has the top of the order. Scudler, Sporletter, and Hanson to face Riley Selby, who struck out 13 batters. The pitch. She starts Sporletter with a fastball, called strike 1, a beauty on the outside corner at the knees. Starts Scudler. Scudler is 1 for 3, singled and scored back in the 5th. This pitch swung on, bounced foul. Kinnison, the catcher, hustling after that one. 0-2 on Scudler. She got Pierce going with 2 outs in the 5th with that single, and then Pierce, Spoiletter reached on an error. Hanson tripled, Kraft doubled. This one a bit inside for ball 1, 1-2.
Pretty good pitch. Close enough that it would tempt that hitter to take a hack at it.
Selby looks over the dugout, 1-2. She'd love to get this first out. Scudler stands in the pitch, swung on, hit foul, back out of play on the right side. So Scudler proving to be a tough out. Good crowd on hand. If you can't be out here at the park, glad to have you on KBRX O'Neill on Eagle Eye Broadcasting. 1-2 to Evelyn Scudler. Right-hander open stance. The pitch. This one is swung on and missed for strike 3. So Selby gets her 14th strikeout and a big out. Getting that first out
is big.
Is always key. Yes.
Like this, yeah. You can feel the air come out of the Pierce dugout just a little bit once you get that first out. Riley doing a great job moving the ball around. She's up, and then comes down and in to get the strike 3.
Pitch. This one swung on and missed by Spoiletter. And yeah, O'Neill would love to have no one on base when Hanson comes up. She's the 3 hitter over in the on-deck circle. So Selby love to retire Spoiletter here. This one is up for a ball, 1-1. Spoiletter is actually 0 for 2 tonight, but she reached on an error and scored in the 5th, and she's put the ball in play twice and walked once. She's the catcher, right-handed batter. This one swung on, fouled straight back. 1-2 to Alexis Spoiletter, one of 3 seniors on this Pierce team, and if memory serves me correctly, she had an older sister or 2 that also played in this Pierce program. Selby, the pitch. This one is swung on and fisted foul. That one ran in on her hands, and she wasn't taking any chances with 2 strikes. Ball comes back into play via a fan who tossed it to Harley Kinnison. She fires it back to Selby. And the count holds at 1-2 on Alexis Spoiletter. At third base, Drucke in front of the bag. Outfield playing pretty deep, protecting that 3-run lead. Pitch.
I like what she was thinking. She wanted to throw that change up and see if she can get her out of her front foot.
So it evens up 2-2 on Spoiletter with Hanson waiting in the on-deck circle. Selby, the 2-2. Swung on, popped up on the left side. Kinnison, or is it Drucke, the third baseman, calling for it in foul ground, and she makes the catch. And so now Hanson cannot hurt the Eagles nearly as bad with her bat, with coming up with nobody aboard and 2 outs. Hanson singled in the 1st, reached on a fielder's choice in the 3rd, and tripled in the 5th. And she has about, you'd have to say, maybe the quickest bat of any hitter in this game. If it's not, it'd be darn close. This one swung on, hit in the air to center. Schofield coming on. It's not all that deep. She's there, and she makes the catch for out number 3. And O'Neill celebrates this victory for Pierce in the 7th. No runs, no hits. There were no errors and no runners left on base. Your Pinnacle Bank final score, it is O'Neill 6, Pierce 3. Back to wrap it up after these messages.
Many lenders work in agriculture, but only one works for it. Mission-driven and owned by the producers we serve, we help customers manage risk, grow their success, and achieve goals. More than just another lender in agriculture, we strive to be its most valued. Discover a lender that works for you at Farm Credit Services of America.
At the Evergreen Assisted Living Center, you can be sure your loved one is living to their greatest potential with access to in-house physical therapy, a dining room to socialize with friends and family, a game room with activities to please all ages, a movie theater to watch your favorite movies, a big room for hosting, or just to admire the breathtaking mural. They offer personalized apartments with outside access to help you feel more at home. The Evergreen Assisted Living Center has it all.
There's a new tomorrow on the other side of the horizon.
Someday's gonna be one day soon.
Build your tomorrow with a bank you can rely on. Pinnacle Bank.
Country Lane Retirement Home is invested in its residents. Our staff works hard to develop long-term relationships so that we can build a custom program that works best for you. Meeting your needs, especially in our memory care facility, is our first priority. Call today for more information.
To Kearney Park, where the O'Neill Eagle girls softball team has just upped their record to 5-6 with a hard-fought 6-3 win over Pierce. Pierce drops to 3-6 on the year. Here's the totals for O'Neill. I had 6 runs on 11 hits, committed 1 error, and left 3 runners on base. For Pierce, 3 runs on 5 hits. They committed 3 errors and left 6 runners on base. Winning pitch for O'Neill was Riley Selby, who struck out 14. Kylie DeVork, who pitched a pretty good game for Pierce, she struck out 3, but she is the tough luck losing pitcher. For O'Neill, the Eagles, with 4 runs in the 3rd inning, got a single run in the 4th and a single run in the 6th. For Pierce, they got all 3 of theirs in the 5th. This was a good ball game, Steve.
It was a solid softball game. 6-3. Both teams put the ball in play at different times, and both teams had some nice plays in the field. The Eagles just had a few more timely base hits that pushed those runs across. It's the old moral victories. Those get old, but you can't hang your head. If you're the Pierce Blue Jays, there's some good things to build on.
Absolutely. As the Pierce Blue Jays, you really got to give them credit for battling back. It didn't look real good. They were down 5-0. They had 2 outs in the top of the 5th, and they come up swinging the bat. Evelyn Scudler got it going with a single. Spoiler reached on an error on a well-hit ball. Hanson tripled, Kraft doubled, Halsey singled, and so forth there. So they strung together, kept the line moving there pretty well, but in the end, not quite enough for Pierce. And for O'Neill, Chuck Price really has to be happy with the production he got from different parts of the lineup. O'Neill scored 6 runs and got single runs from 6 different spots in the batting order, and the spots were the 1 spot, the 3 spot, the 5, and the 7, 8, and 9.
Yeah, when you can score runs in all up and down your lineup, your chances of winning go way up. And Pierce tonight just kind of had to rely on that 2-3-4 part of their lineup. They didn't get much out of the bottom half of their lineup, and I think that really was the difference in the game.
Now for the Eagles, next up is the game against Boone Central, and that will be actually on the 10th of September. So that would be next Tuesday, I believe, and that'll be here. We'll have that one for you actually on KBRX. I don't think we'll have that one, though, on Eagle Eye Broadcasting. They'll have volleyball that night. Emily Morrow is confirming that. And for the Pierce Blue Jays, good luck to Pierce as their season continues. Next up for them, they're at the Boone Central Tournament on Saturday at the Albion Sports Complex, recently named in honor of the late Tracy Hedlund.
Yep, a nice honor, and well deserved.
Very, very nice honor, yes, very appropriate. I had a chance to talk with her parents a little bit here this past weekend. So once again, O'Neill next on Tuesday against Boone Central here in O'Neill. Pierce will be on the road to the Boone Central Tournament, and that will be on Saturday. Still a couple items of business to take care of. We want to name our Stadium Sports Top Dog Athlete of the Week nominee, and also our H&R Block Impact Player of the Game. We'll have those for you after these messages.
Come down to your local Stadium Sports in O'Neill, Nebraska, where you can satisfy all your sporting and clothing needs in just one store. They have a wide variety of many different sporting items and clothing that we know you would love. If you're not sure you like your clothing, they will even let you try it on in this fancy dressing room. They also have a website. You can visit them at stadiumsportso'neill.com. If you want to give them a ring, their phone number is 402-336-2282.
on the Wake post-game report, where O'Neill has just picked up a 6-3 win over Pierce in softball. And time now to name our Stadium Sports Top Dog Athlete of the Week nominee and also our H&R Block Impact Player of the Game. For our Impact Player of the Game, Steve, brought to you by H&R Block, I think I'll go with Tinsley Sorensen, the only freshman, the designated player. It was a scoreless game when she came to bat, leading off the bottom of the third. She singled. We talked about her speed. She beat out an infield single. Then she stole second and stole third, got herself in a scoring position, scored on Bristol Scott's double, and that really got the O'Neill offense going there. And Schofield then tripled and scored. Selby singled. Cahoy reached on a fielder's choice. She came out and scored. O'Neill be able to build a 4-0 lead. And then Sorensen also came up in the fourth inning with O'Neill looking for insurance, and she got a sac fly RBI as well there. So she drove in a run and also scored a run for O'Neill in this contest tonight. And then actually, take the back, she also drove in a run in the sixth inning with a ground ball, so she ended up with 2 runs batted in, and that run scored. So we'll have Tinsley Sorensen be our H&R Block Impact Player of the Game. She's definitely made an impact as a freshman. And our Stadium Sports Top Dog Athlete of the Week nominee, it's got to be the same player I nominated last week as well. I don't think she won last week, though, but it was Riley Selby, the O'Neill pitcher. Again, she was really pretty dominant for much of this game and in control for a large portion of the game. She allowed just 5 hits, and she struck out 14 batters while walking just 3. And keep in mind, this was coming on the heels of a weekend where she wasn't really at her best. You didn't have quite the controls she was looking for, and so she had some pressure coming on, and really responded tonight with 14 strikeouts and walking just 3 in pitching a complete game 5 hitter. Now, if I find out that she actually was the overall winner last week, I neglected to look at that. There are certainly other players for O'Neill that would be very deserving as well.
Yeah, this is a game, you could take Loretta Schofield, she was only batting 167, broke out and had, it was either 2 for 3 or 3 for 4, I can't remember what it was.
I was 3 for 3.
3 for 3, I mean, probably a long time coming because she's batting at the top of the order for a reason. She can put it in play, and things went her way tonight. I mean,
Emerson Manerick
had a couple hits and a very nice catch out in the outfield. And it's a nice problem to have when there's so many good plays that who do you name as the top dog? Good problem to have.
Right, and we encourage you, actually, as a fan, you can make a nomination of your own. And I actually encourage you to do this. You can even say, I don't know what I'm talking about. It wouldn't bother me. Just send a email.
It's private because most people already know it.
Most people already know it, that's right. You can send that to sports@kbx.com and send the athlete's name, their grade, a little bit about their performance. If you want to get a hold of me, and I can even give you the stats I had from this game on, I'd be glad to do that. So send in your nominees as well. Now, our apologies to Pierce. We, of course, don't name a Pierce Stadium Sports Top Dog Athlete nominee because Pierce is outside of our coverage area, but the Blue Jays certainly had some players that play very well tonight as well. Once again, your final score, your Pinnacle Bank final score, O'Neill wins it over Pierce by a score of 6-3. Be sure to say thanks to all the fine sponsors making this broadcast possible, members of the KBX Sportscaster Club, and also the Eagle Eye Broadcasting sponsors as well. For our Eagle Eye camera